so one of the things I forgot to list in the beginning, I'm going to try this two-way glue, the Zig. And I'm only going to put the glue on the little tiny pieces that are loose. I didn't get it on camera here. This one here and this one here. So that's all I'm going to do. Some of that on there. I'm hoping this will work. This may not work because I usually use this with vinyl, and I'm not sure it's going to work with the cardstock, but if I would have used the vinyl, you wouldn't have been able to see what I was doing. So now all I'm doing is lining up the brown paper on top of the one I just painted, and I'm going to push on here where I just glued it. Okay, and keep your fingers crossed. Okay, it wants to stay with this, so I'm going to have to give it some coaxing. Without it sticking to me, stay. Coax it down. Okay. So we have that on there now, and now, you know what, I didn't do that right either. What in the world did I do? I cut that in the wrong place. I can't believe it. This needs to go in the, oh yeah, that's right, it is right. What am I thinking? And this is what I do, I always second guess myself. Do you do that? I'm always second guessing myself. So I want my stems to be brown. I'm just shaking up my brown paint. Okay. And I'm going to try it with the paper towel again, but I'm going to start with the fresh part of it. I hate wasting. So I've got a clean part of it, and I'm just going to dip it in the paint. And I'm just kind of like blobbed, and this is not exactly where I had wanted, probably because I moved this paper. Let me see if yeah, I just need to shift the top paper a little bit. Now it's lined up. So all I'm going to do is just blot it. A little bit more paint, and you can actually blot off on the paper. And this is why I said that I use ugly paper for this. And you're really not going to see these stems that well. We just need to represent the fact that there are stems here. So I'm just going to hold that piece down. Now if I wanted to, I can use this brush here and stipple it, but I'm trying to show you different techniques that you can use, and to be honest with you, this one does work so much better, but you know, some of you might not have this, so I'm trying to show different ways of doing this. I need more paint. Okay. I'm just blotting some of it off. And just keep stippling it. And see, most people can do this. For most people, this is not a big deal. And there was some of that ivory that was next to the brown, and it's kind of mixing in with it, and I really don't care. When I paint, I like to mix my colors. I think it gives it more of a natural nature look than just straight brown. I mean, otherwise it's going to look like you took magic markers and painted it. And we want it to look like more of a painting, right? I need just a little bit more, and we're almost done with this. So just make sure you have all your paints on hand when you're doing this. And like I said, normally I've been using stencil paper with this, but I think it's easier for you to see the other paper, well not paper, the transparency type thing, it's going to glare with the camera. So that's another reason why I'm doing it this way. So now I'm going to lift up and take a look, and that's good. It has a natural look to it. I'm going to move that stencil aside, and now because I use the temporary adhesive, let's see if I can lift. Come on, come on. There we go. So that's that. And I mean, you could even freehand these stems. Oh, I got a little piece that got left behind. Don't do this to me. You're temporary. You're supposed to be temporary. I can cover that with a flower. And see, that's what's nice about this particular one. If you make a mistake, like I see one here that I don't like the way that it looked, I'm just going to come in with the paintbrush and just touch it up. And what I don't like, I can cover with flowers later on when we get to that stage. Okay, so I have that one down. Now I need to bring the cup in. And once again, all I'm doing is matching corner to corner. That's all I'm doing. So, what color do I want my cup to be? Now, I think I'm going to use a little bit of the zig on the back of this, just a little bit, just to keep it, maybe. I didn't put enough on, I don't think. Hold it down. There we go. Okay. I'm debating what color I want to make this. I guess I'll just keep it the ivory. I'll see if this is kind of like a cheaper paint, so I'm not sure if it's going to cover, so I may be adding another color to it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just trying to squirt out some ivory. Okay, and I'm going to take another paper towel. I ran out of the ones that are like those small sheets, the Bounty small sheets, and I accidentally bought the ones that are the big sheets, so I'm tearing it in half. Okay, so here I go again. This time I'm just going to take some of the white, and I think I'm going to start where the handle is here, and just pounce. It seems to be covering. Excuse me. I have a frog in my throat. We have a lot of tree pollen or something out there. My allergies have been acting up. So people who are afraid to paint, I do not think would be afraid to paint this. And like I said, you'd have to make a set for as many people as you would have, and you use the ugliest paper that you have in your stash. The stuff that you want to throw out. I mean, go through your paper pads, all those beautiful paper pads. There's always 2 or 3, excuse me, I'm sorry, 2 or 3 of the colors that we can't stand, right? And we put up with it. Just adding more paint. I mean, this is kind of like a folk art look, I guess. But then you can say, I painted it. I painted it and I didn't even have to use a paintbrush. And then the thing that you need to keep in mind is the drying time, and that's when hair dryers, hair dryers or, oh, I've got some orange on there, or the heat gun will work. And I just got some of that orange on here, but you know what? I'm not going to fret over it. I'm just going to kind of blend it in because the flowers will be going there anyway. And this is just on the stencil itself. And it'll make a, with the yellow there, that was a happy accident. It'll look like there's like a stripe or a motif there. It's no big deal. In fact, if you wanted, you can do the handle a different color. Okay, so now, get that out of the way. Let's go for the reveal. If I can get it loose, get this loose. This is where I use the zig. Okay, so there's our cup. That wasn't hard. So now I need to get some white in there. I had brown on my brush, so I'm just rinsing it. And I'm going to use my rag to try to get that brown out. And I'm going to go after some of that white paint and just come in here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Here, maybe that way. And I'm just filling it in. That's all I'm doing. Just filling in. That was where that stencil was. It needs a little bit more because everything else has more paint. Okay. And if you want to cover up some of that orange, you can. Just use your paintbrush. And that's that. So now we have the stems and we have the cup. It's starting to come alive. Okay, so then the next one, I'm going to have to use the flower or the leaves, but my fingers are full of paint right now and I need to rinse them off or I'll get it all over everything. So let me get this lined up again. I also, while I stepped away to wash my hands, I went and I dried this real fast. It only took like a few seconds. So now I have the stencil that has the leaves, and I'm just going to line it up with the one side. Remember, with the corner to corner, that's all I'm doing is corner to corner. And I need to clean this off because I have too many other colors, because now I'm going to go into green. So get rid of that. Grab my paper towel. Make sure you have garbage cans handy. And I have a real pretty green here. And like I said, it's craft paint. That's all it is. And pour some of that out. And I think I'm going to use my stencil brush for this. Let me give that a cleaning because I had brown, I think, on there last. Get my rag. And another thing that you might want to do for your guests, and if I have time I'll make a video too, is the Dollar Tree now sells aprons. And if you can't find them at your store, you can find them online in the kitchen section. And so wouldn't it be cool to have aprons for them? I have a feeling I put my stencil upside down, and that was something that I meant to mention that I forgot to, is I usually number them, and when they're numbered, then I know what's top and what's bottom, and I did not do that this time. But sometimes mistakes are good when you're teaching, so that you can learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistake. And that's a little too sheer, so I'm adding a little more green. And it's weird, some of these paints are thicker than others. I don't know why that is, but it's true from brand to brand. But like I said, this is a very forgiving painting. It's a very creative painting. So let's lift it up. And that's what we have so far. Put that in the water. Let me show you. Oops, stuck it in that tray. See, that's all it is. Okay. So now comes the fun part. Let's see, that one's the last. What I did, so I can show you what it looks like, these are the cards for the flowers. But because I need to see the centers of the flowers, I also cut them in transparencies, which I can't find now, and I think they fell on the floor. Okay, I've got to put this on hold so I can go try to not slip and slide on them because they're on the floor someplace. I found all of them but one. It's probably hiding down there somewhere. I don't know if you can see this or not. That's why I was showing you the cards instead. So this is the smaller one of this, but I'm trying to find the bigger one. That's small. That's the problem with working with stencils. You can't see them. Oh, here's the other one. That's a small one. Oh, there it is. There's my big one. Okay. I like to start with the bigger flowers first, and so that's what I'm going to do. And like I said, you can make these whatever color you want. And I'm going to have it come down over the lip of the cup, because that's what flowers do. So I'm going to start and put my pink, if it'll come out. Okay. Cleaning out my brush. Put it in the rag and give it a good twist. Try to get most of that water out. One of the nice things about working with acrylic paints is they dry so fast. Okay, so now I have some on my my brush here, some pink, and I'm going to go off a little bit, and I'm going to work my way on. And acrylics give a nice coverage too. They're an easy paint to start out with, where like watercolors, not so easy. Okay, so I got that down. Now trying to pick it up. Okay, so there's my first flower. I think I'll put another big one up here. I'm going to try not to touch the plastic onto the original one that I just did. I'll use up whatever paint I have on here already. It looks like that might even be enough. Okay, so I'm going to lift that. And I think I'm going to stick one out here. Because who knows, there might be a branch coming off to the side. So you don't necessarily have to put it on the tips of the branches, because if you do that, it's going to look like a little child's drawing. So there. Okay, so now I have some big ones in, and I think that's all I'm going to put for those are the three big pink flowers. And now I'm trying to find the next size to add some interest without having to touch some of the other ones. Now I'm going to put it up near where that stem is up there, and I'm going to cover the stem. Lift that up, and I think I'm going to stick one. I'm not going to put it all the way on the page. I'm going to put it coming off the page. Adds more interest that way. So this is what I have so far. Starting to take some shape. That's what I said. I think they'll have fun doing this. Okay, so now I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I think what I'll do is pause the video while I do this. There's no sense in you having to wait for me to do this. And I'm going to give this a quick dry. Okay, I gave it a quick dry. It's not completely dry, but it's good enough. And now I think I'm going to wipe up my palette a little bit so that I can make room for orange. My orange can there. Okay, so now if there's a little bit of pink mixed in from the last time, that's no big deal. It might have been helpful if I had picked up my stencil before I picked that up. Okay, so now I have to decide. I think I'll stick one over here. It's a bright orange. And I'll stick one over here. And you can, you can layer it on top of your other flowers that are dry already. I think I add a little bit more. See, now this particular paint is thinner than the other paint was. It's just so strange how that is, but it is. Okay, lift that up. And where else? I had that mistake there earlier. I think I'm going to put a flower there. I think maybe I needed to shake that up. Maybe it just needed to be shaken up a little bit. Try that again. See if that makes it any thicker. I hope so, because I'm not real happy with this. Okay. Try to pick it up. Yeah, a little bit better, not much. And so you can put as many or as little flowers as you want, because this is your creation, and you can make it match your needs. And see, I got some on here. I'm just going to rub it in. It looks like it's a part of the background. That's one of the reasons why I like to use, I still don't like the way this is. That's one of the reasons why I like to use the same color in the background that I'm using in the picture, because then you can disguise it more easily. Once that's dry, I could always go back and cover it more, but for this video, I'm just trying to get done here. I think I'll stick one in here too. So it's showing through a little more than I normally would like it to. I'm just being honest with you. Okay, so that was that one. And then I have this one, I think is just slightly smaller. Stick one over here. And I think I'll stick one up here. And I'm not even completely putting it down when I'm doing some of these. Okay. And I think I'm going to be needing some more pink to balance this out. So I'm going to add some pink. I mean, you can make this however you want it to be. So I'm going to use the small ones and use some pink. And I mixed the pink right in with the orange when I did that. It needs more pink. Come on, pink. It didn't want to come out. Yeah, see, this paint here is just so much thicker. And the other one is just so much runnier. Now, I have regular paint that I use, like when I'm actually doing paintings. But I'm doing this because of the paint party. There's like dry paint coming out of there. Let go. Okay, let's see. Where else can I'm going to try this one again. Oh, it's a dry piece of paint that came out. I don't know I don't know. And I had made this yellow, and I'm not thrilled with my choice, so I'm putting pink and covering the yellow. Okay, I think I'm going to cover this with some pink. Okay, that's better. It's better than what it was. Now, I need to decide. I think I'll put one down here. Okay, it's coming along. I'll put that back in the water. Let's see, what else do I want to do with this? I'm seeing it needs a branch up to that flower that I went off the page. And since my branch doesn't reach up that high, I'm going to take my small brush again, just trying to get most of the water out of it because I had it in the thing. And I'm trying to see if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take the brown paint and just kind of meet up with that flower. There. And now it's standing on a stem. So, and I'll probably go back over these orange ones again later. Now, the other thing is we need to put the centers. In the original painting, I had used yellow. But with the colors that I've used here, I think I'm going to experiment a little bit. Okay, so this is one of the small ones. I think I'm going to use brown. And I'm just going to use my little, there, center there. Do I like that? Not really. And this is what I do. I go, what do I want to do? Here's a bigger one. This is for the bigger flowers. Let me see if that one works. Put that down. Yeah, I like that. I mean, you could even, I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot of centers for the flowers that you make. You could even use those. Okay. Up here, I think I'm just going to put like an indication like there's a center there. And you could even use the bottom of the brush. I'm going to dip some in brown and just go like that. Should do it when it's dry, but I'm just trying to get this video done because it's a very long video right now. Do that again. But you get the general idea. So you don't even need those circles. I gave them to you if you want them, but you really don't need them. I really need to do that orange, cover that with something else. I'll do that later. I'm trying to finish up this video. And you know, for those of you who think you're a little more skilled, you don't have to stencil like I did. You could actually use the stencils to outline in pencil, like a colored pencil, and then go in and paint, like a paint by number type thing. So I see one I missed here. And then if you want, like I had the other stencil, it's on the floor, I can't find it. It was the one that's supposed to look like baby's breath. But what I'm going to do, because I can't find it, is I'm going to put some white paint. I don't need a lot. And again, I'm going to use the bottom of this brush like I did with the brown. And I'm just going to go, try and get it on there. I'm just going to go here and there. Just here and there, just like baby's breath. It's weird, the one paint, it worked really well, and this one not so well. I'm using the side of the tip right now. I'm trying to make sure I have a lot of paint on here. And just put baby's breath here or there. I mean, use your imagination. You've seen plenty of arrangements. And unless they come from the florist, none of them are perfect. I mean, if you go out in the garden and pick some of your flowers, they flop every which way. So I'm actually doing it on top of the flowers too, so it makes it look like, you know, there's depth, there's like some in front of the flowers. And I think this, the white kind of breaks it up a little bit and adds some richness. Oh, I see, I forgot to put a center on that one. And even if, like, you know, right now I just touched brown into the white, I think it'll just make it look more interesting. Because even when you look at paintings, they don't paint everything with perfect lines. So the white is something that I would do at the very end so that you can disguise things. you can cover up your mistakes. But if you were more of an advanced painter, you could have layered these stencils on top of the other ones, like, you know, have pink on the bottom and maybe some, like a lighter pink or a darker pink on top. And use the smaller stencil of the flower on the bigger stencil of the flower. You know what I mean? So, but the purpose of this is to show you that even you can paint. When you thought that you couldn't paint, you can. And like I said, the flowers that I used for these patterns were just, you know, I mean, we all have flower patterns. Every one of us does. If you're a crafter, it's hard not to have flowers when you're a crafter. But I'm going to have some kind of coming out a little bit. There. Some coming out over here a little bit. And the hardest part when you're a painter is knowing when to stop. And that is my biggest problem. That's how I know I'm not a good painter. But anyhow, I think I'm going to stop here. And this is basically what I've done. I've just been tapping the back side of the paintbrush to make baby's breath. And this is my video for the day. I hope you've enjoyed this. And what I'll be able to do now is take this, and here's the canvas one. I'll be able to tape it on top of the canvas. Let me see if I can put this up more so I can move this away. I have it as far away as possible. Okay, so I'll be able to do that. And then, where's my ribbon? Here's my ribbon. And so my ribbon kind of matches my flowers there. There's two in here, so it's going to look thicker. It's not really, it's just that one is what we'll be doing. And I'll be putting the ribbon around the edge of it. And then in the fall, I can take this off and put a fall one on there and still hang it in the same place. I mean, you could even make the same exact stencil and use different color flowers for autumn, or put leaves. Put leaves. That would be beautiful. So this is the finished product. And don't forget to sign your work. Have a great day. Well, I thought I was finished. One of the things I forgot that I wanted to show you is I have these paints that I showed you earlier that they have texture. So if you want, you can take these texture paints. And I feel like my the pink are not standing out that great. So what I'm going to do is take my texture paint, kind of shake it up, and just start getting a straight line. See how nicely it outlines? So what I'm going to do just to add a little bit of color is to come in and just outline some of these flowers. Not all of them, just some of them. Can you see that? And it will stand up. This will not flatten out. And all I'm doing it holding this up in the air so you can see. It'd be better if I was doing it on the table. So something like that. And I think I'll do this big one over here. I think I'm out of shot there. Okay. And you can do these with the puffy paints. I may as well just do the pink ones, huh? Like I said, a good artist needs to know when to stop, and I don't. Okay, so that's the hot pink that I do with my lid. And let me grab an orange one. May as well do the orange. Again, I'm going to take it and shake it down, get a straight line, and just do a few of the orange. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's actually standing up. And it just adds a new element to the painting. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. That's the great part about it. I'll do one here to finish off this one because I didn't like the way this looked. There. See, that makes it look better now. And I'm not going to do all of them. And I might even do like the yellow on the pink. Make it stand out more. So I did that. And I mean, you can do all of them. You can do a few of them. I think I need one over here too, just to make it balanced. Okay. And then, what else can we put in here? I think it needs some purple. Gotta have some purple, right? What's life without purple? And again, I'm gonna shake it down, get a straight line. And I don't even have a flower to trace now with the purple, so I'm just gonna take the purple and just put like little squiggly things. See, you didn't even need the stencil for this. And it's amazing, just doing something like this just gives it a little more color and a little more character. So, yeah, puffy paint. It's your friend. Have a great day.